It's called a half a credit. Where should I start?
Newman! Walsh!
Tucker!
That's right, you weren't on the bus last night. I didn't do any of these for you. Oh.
Trey!
Newman!
The Walter?
Yeah! No, save the best for last.
Save Mr. Walner for last or first?
Newman!
Walsh!
How about Mr. Tucker?
Yeah!
Well, don't make him out, Justin. You know, this lady, she come in my office one day. I say, you got a couple minutes? Come on, sit down here. I got to tell you a story. This lady come in. She's sitting across the desk from me. She said, she got a little angry with me, and she said, Mr. Tucker, I'll reach across this desk and smack your black face. This is a true story. I'm not making fun. Don't get the impression I'm making fun of anybody or being racist remarks. This is a true story. But that lady said, I'll reach across this desk and slap your black face. I looked at that girl, I said, girl, I'll grab your blonde hair by its black roots and rip your head right out, throw it out that window. You should have said, her eyes went, she got out of that chair, she couldn't get out of that office fast enough. I didn't see her again. Okay, a little history on the Washington Monument, all right? For your information, all right, the Washington Monument is constructed of granite, mined at the Newman Quarry. Okay? I turn around and told him point blank, all right? The year 1862, all right? People don't believe in reincarnation, all right? I do because I've experienced it. Okay? I happen to know. Alright, I turn around and told him point blank. Alright, there's no more stone in the quarry. Anybody have Mr. Davy? Well, these trips that these kids are going on, they're going to take a lot out of your study time, and we've got that AP exam coming up, and some of you are going to be crying for that extra time. So you can go and enjoy yourself on these trips, but when you get back, there's going to be an awful lot of work to do, and there won't be any more donut parties. And don't ask me for a pen if you need one.
You know I got a Walsh! Walsh! What?
Mr. Walsh?
Yeah.
All right, basically, we've just gotten back, from a trip, Washington. All right, we just got back from a trip in Washington. All right, now, I don't know if some of you noticed or not. Maybe you did. I did. All right, did you happen to notice that there are many different types of license plates here, right? Basically, because you have the states of Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. All right, now Washington, D.C., by the way, is not a state, right? A lot of people think it is, but it's not, right? But I really don't think it's necessary to take time now to go into detail and tell you why it's not, right? So basically, just so you know, you may have noticed license plates say diplomat, right? Yeah, those people that, go in the embassy, right? Basically, that's what you want to know, right? Yes, George, there are plenty of books in the library in Washington, D.C. And if you were so interested, you would have come down last week. And I don't know where everyone gets off thinking that I keep the 2 cents. Or, for that matter, the dime. Rumor has it she bought a new car, Jim Smith Chevrolet. Yeah, in Walden there. Paid the guy off in dimes. Now, you put 2 and 2 together. Hey, cash, check, charge, finance? No, dimes. Roll them in, tinker.
Vince.
It's fun.
Mr. Loves.
Wesley!
Yeah.
college, because you will have the sharper edge.
Fitz. McFadden.
McFadden.
Mr. McFadden. Did you folks really enjoy the trip? Did you folks really? Huh? Huh? Did you enjoy the trip? Terrific. Huh? Take care, huh? I really need to work on him. I don't know what to do that often. I can do the seagull walk, but I can't do the talk. I can do the DeBello walk, but I can't. Oh, I can do the DeBello.
Hold the arms.
It gives me a great deal of pleasure this morning to announce 12 finalists for Regents scholarships. They are in alphabetical order. Go on, we'll do that. You always know late in the afternoon, though. 2:15, 2:16. Get one of these. This mic on, so. Yes, it is. May I have your attention, please? Oh, we're waiting. You hear all the noise in the office.
Now, do you have a pen? No, Mabel.
There will be no girls softball practice today.
Here's your pen, Sal.
Thank you. That's no girls softball today. Thank you. And he never turns the mic off.
No, this pen doesn't work.
You!
Mr. Hurst, yes.
You!
Okay, hey, gang. Time out. Okay. Great. Tell you what we're going to do. Okay. Now, all right. If you notice, we're on the road here. All right. Okay. I really need it quiet now. I want everybody to kind of concentrate because we're on the road and we're on our way home. Okay. Now, basically what we're going to do here is concentrate on getting home. Okay? So, if everybody kind of, in the back of their mind, thinks we're going home, okay, then maybe we'll get there faster. Excuse me, but I really don't appreciate your humor. I mean, really. You have something you need. It's called a half a credit.
My way or the highway.
Fitz! Fitz!
Fitz!
Fitz!
Mr. Fitz. Position myself. Very quiet though, you know, I can't really do him loud. He's very quiet. Oh, I got a great story. Let me tell you a good story.
Dog story.
You know what? You know, please, if I tell you these stories, you got to be very, very quiet about them.
I didn't hear.
What story?
I told the other bus. They promised me they would.
We promise.
It's a great story.
Dog story, hacker.
The dog story, yeah, the dog story. Let me give you the brief Mr. Fitz one. If you had him, you'll appreciate this. Okay. All right, what we're gonna do today? All right. Okay, what I'd like to do is take out your book. You had an assignment last night, and I'd like to go over those homework questions, and then we're gonna turn the overhead on. and go over these questions because you're going to see him again on the exam, and you really should be prepared. That's about all. He's pretty quiet.
What about Costco?
How about the dog story?
Well, let me tell you a dog story now from back to Costco. Mr. Fitz bought some furniture from me. Cocktail table and 2 end tables. They finally came in, and I was short of help. They came in on a Friday, and I told them I'd deliver them on Saturday. And I was short of help on Saturday. So I told them, I said, gee, I can't get them over to you today. I'm really short on help. And he kind of moaned and groaned. Oh. I said, okay, fine. I said, I'll find a way to get him over to you. I called my brother, the Cardinal Sin, my younger brother. Steve, I need a favor. Come down to the store. So my younger brother comes down and breaks everything in his sight. You lend him the car, comes back with a dent in it, one of those types. Lend him a suit jacket, it comes back with cigarette burns in it, or the arm ripped off, or something like that. So anyway, get the picture of my younger brother. Take these staples over to this house. Okay, no problem. And load them in my car. And I said, be very careful. Make sure you don't put one scratch on him, because this guy will go bananas. If there's one little tiny nick or scrape on it, he'll go bananas. Okay, so we wrap him up. Brings him over to Fitz's house, and Mr. Fitz answers the door, and first words out of him, now my brother, of course, comes back and relays the story to me. Takes the tables out of the car, brings them into the house. Mr. Fitz gets down on his hands and knees. If you had him as a teacher, you know how, perfect he is, and he's checking everything out, and he says to my brother, I'm not going to pay you if there's a scratch on any of these. I'm not going to pay you. So he's down on his hands and knees, and he checks them all out, and he makes sure, okay, 10 minutes later, after he's thoroughly checked them, okay, they're okay. He writes out a check for the remaining balance. And he says to my brother, I wasn't going to pay it. If there was a little scratch or imperfection, I wasn't going to pay it. You're lucky there weren't any scratches or imperfections. Oh, my brother says, this guy's a kook. He gets the check. Mrs. Fitz opens the door to the cellar. Out comes her new Labrador puppy, runs over to the cocktail table, chomp! Right on the edge. Now there's the dog's, teeth marks are all over the table. And needless to say, Mr. Fitz was not too pleased. The poor dog, it's still limping today.
Can too.
Mr. Tosco. Objectives for today were to identify and explain what? The Articles of Confederation. Now, I know exactly what you were thinking. The Articles of Confederation are what? What do they mean to me? Should I know what they mean? Well, the people in Albany who make the Regents examination believe you should. So I would like you to pay very close attention as we identify and explain the Articles of Confederation.
Any business stories for us?
Tell them the Lori story.
I got some. What?
The Lori story.
That's a bad
Come on.
That's all right.
It's all right. You do shape?
The Lori one?
Yeah.
Well, you probably won't believe this, but when I was in high school, I was a real wise guy.
No.
Oh, God.
And whatever function we had as a senior class, I always ended up being what I'm doing now. I was always a master of ceremonies, always on a mic, always getting things. I didn't mind because I was kind of a funny person. And I did all that stuff. Well, we had a senior trip, and we went to Grossinger's. We went for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they let us go. The whole class went. 380-something kids went up to Grossinger's. We invaded Grossinger's, and I think that's why the place went out of business, because we really tore it apart. Drinking age was 18, so if you were 18, you could go to the bar and all that. No one really cared. Of course, I didn't go there. Anyway, Lori, so we gave all these prizes out. We had this big senior dinner. Same thing you're going to have, a senior dinner. They give out these prizes. Cutest couple, most studious, most likely to succeed, biggest dork, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's what we did. Well, I didn't make up the awards. I was simply relaying and talking and giving them out. Well, up came the Dog Award, D-O-G, dog. And it was given to a girl. Now, I had no idea. I knew who the girl was, but I didn't make it up. And the award wasn't a trophy or a certificate or anything like that. It was a flea collar and a box of dog bones. It was very mean, but again, I didn't do it. I just said the words. But it came back to haunt me a little bit later on. So this girl, by the way, just to give you an idea, taller than I am, heavier than I am, and didn't have many teeth. But seriously, she was not an attractive girl. So it was a very cruel thing, but when you're 18, you don't really think of these things. Later on, you say, that wasn't really nice. Well, they thought it was a good idea at the time, and I did too, I guess, because I gave her the award. So I said, all right, now we got the dog award, and it goes to Lori. I won't say the last name because the girl's still around. Might be related, I don't even know. But anyway, the dog award goes to Lori. Here you go, Lori, come on up, get your flea collar and dog biscuits. Well, you can hear a pin drop in the place, and all the teachers there are like, oh my God, what did he do now? And she came up. Oh, here you go, Lori. Gave her the flea collar and the box of dog biscuits. Oh, thanks a lot. And away she went. Yeah, Lori. Down she went. Well, that was in 1980. And I hadn't seen Lori in probably 7 or 8 years. And about a year ago or so, I returned back to my store, and I walked in, and the lady that works for me says, I got some people upstairs who are going to buy about $5,000 worth of furniture. I said, oh, good. Now my cash register mentality began to sink in. $5,000, that's a pretty good sale. So down the stairs come the people who are going to spend $5,000 in my store, and who do you suppose it was? Lori and her new husband. So I look and I said, oh, jeez. So I start to duck out because I haven't seen this girl now in 7 or 8 years, as I said. So the woman that works for me is standing here, and to get into my office is a small area. I said, excuse me, Teresa, get out of the way. What? I said, excuse me, get out of the way. What? I said, get out of the way. I couldn't talk. Here comes the girl down the stairs. Why? I said, get out of the way. I don't want to see this girl. Why? They're buying the furniture. I said, I don't care what they're buying. Get out of the way. Then all of a sudden, hi, Rob. How you doing? Oh, hi, Lori. How are you? Oh, I bet you haven't forgotten that night, have you? First words out of her mouth. I bet you haven't forgotten that night, have you? So, of course, I played dumb. Well, what night was that, Lori? Well, when you gave me the flea collar and the dog biscuits. So now, the woman that works with me, I never heard that story. And the husband, who was bigger than Lori, therefore bigger than me, is looking at me kind of perplexed. He gave you dog biscuits? I said, no, I didn't give him. That was a senior class. I said, I was just, he was part of it, What do you mean he was part of it? And then she says, do you work here? And the woman that works for me says, no, he owns it. Oh, really? And the husband says, you mean they were going to spend all this money from a guy that gave you a flea collar and dog biscuits? Now I thought, oh my God, I better do something pretty quick. So I ran behind the thing, ding-a-ling that worked for me, get out of the way, raced in the back there, grabbed the $100 bill. She already wrote up the sale. It was $5,000 and change. Reached in the drawer, pulled out a $100 bill, and I said, Lori, boom, I slapped it on the counter. I said, I feel so bad about that. It happened back in 1980, that senior dinner. Here, take this $100 bill. You and your husband go out to dinner on me. Well, and the husband was kind of happy, and Lori was happy. She smiled, and I saw that she got her teeth fixed. So I felt a little bit better at that point. She quickly took the $100 bill, and away they went. I haven't seen them since. But you got to be careful. You never know what they have.
That been the biggest twist.
And they bought the furniture. That's why I figured, it was worth $100 to me. I thought they were going to grab the 100 and take off. All right, forget it. Let's get out of the street to the next guy. What other good stories there? I can't remember.
The payment.
Which one?
The one that you had to make the old lady. The old lady.
Oh, Susie Q?
Yeah, Susie Q.
Susie Q. Hold on to Susie Q for a minute. I'm going to hit some other week. What? The trucks, the party. Oh, yeah, that's another good story, yeah. You have to be careful. One thing I've learned in life, I think it's very fortunate that I have, but if you, there's a saying, it's a very valid saying, what goes around comes around. It certainly does. And last summer, I was trying to play golf, and one day I took off from the store, and I left the people working there and said, I'm going down and play golf. Okay, fine, no problem. So the woman comes running out and she goes, wait, you can't go yet. You have to deliver a mattress. I said, forget the mattress. I said, just call up and tell them the truck broke down or something. No, you can't do that. I promised the lady. I said, no. I said, I'm going down to play golf. I said, I haven't played in 2 weeks, and I said, I got to get down and play. Well, what do you want me to tell her? Tell her we'll deliver it later this afternoon. Well, she works. I said, well, think up something. I said, do something, because I'm not going to deliver it. So then I go to the golf club to play golf, play the first hole, play the second hole. Out comes the people from the pro shop. Said, you got an emergency phone call. I said, oh, geez. So I race back in, pick up the phone. It's a woman that works for me, and she says, well, she says, Tony, that's the other guy that works for me. Tony's down at the dump. The sheriff's impounded the truck. I said, for what? I don't know, they got Tony in handcuffs because he's not an American citizen. He's got a green card and he doesn't have it with him. So I said, oh, well, what do you want me to do? Well, you're going to have to get out and bail him out because they're holding him down at the county landfill. And they're holding the truck and they won't let it go. So I had to leave and go down there. So I get down there and fortunately was able to con my way out of it, got him out, got the truck out, and got it back. So we bring it back to the store, and the lady, of course, calls up that was supposed to get the mattress earlier in the day and said, well, I'm sorry, I couldn't tell her the truck was impounded. She thinks, well, what kind of schlock operation is that? Truck getting impounded. So, no, the truck had a flat tire. I'm sorry, ma'am. We couldn't, and there wasn't anybody here. Okay, fine. She's very understanding. Bring it over tomorrow. Okay, fine. I told her, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. No problem. Next day comes. Beautiful day out again. Friends of mine call up, come on down and play golf. You didn't finish yesterday. I say, I know, I only got 3 holes. Come on down and play today. So I get back in the car again. The woman comes out, she says, wait a minute, you forgot about that lady. I said, oh, geez. I said, well, tell her. I said, I'll be back in time. Don't worry, no problem. So I take off, get down to play golf again. Don't even get done with the first hole. Out they come from the pro shop again. Got an emergency phone call. I said, what's going on? I said, I can't believe it. Go in and pick it up. Well, we got a problem. Tony just went down to the dump, and he's got a flat tire. So I had lied the day before and told the lady, yeah, we had a flat tire, and the next day I actually did have one. So what goes around comes around. It does. Can I tell you about the picture I found on the floor in school? Did you hear that? Walking down the hall one day, true story, very true. And all of a sudden this picture flies by. You know, the wind picked it up and it happened to be a student of mine. I said, oh, I must have given it to someone, and whoever he gave it to lost it. So turned it over in the back to see who it was written out to, and it said the following. Dear Sue, I'm really glad I got to know you this year. You're a real sweet person. And don't ever forget all the great times we had, especially all the cheating we did in Sassy's class. Oh, isn't that interesting? All the cheating. So the next day, my devious mind kicked in and said, I'll fix this kid. Kid comes into class, hey, how you doing? I said, hey, how you doing? Sit down. What's the matter? Nothing, I just want to talk to you. No, I said, I'll hold on, I'll see you at the end of class. Okay. So I take the class and I say, you know, there's certain things that happen in life you just can't explain. So all the kids are, you know, listening. And something happened the other day in school, and maybe I shouldn't tell you. And of course now, no, what is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, I don't know, it may, you know, someone in here might be very uncomfortable. Oh, go ahead, yeah, what is it? All right, well, so I tell them the story how I was walking down the hall. Of course, I embellished it a little bit and said there was a wind, like a cyclone, whipping through, and I reached out and grabbed this picture out of the air because the wind was blowing through, and I read up the inscription on the back, so I could see this kid kind of get down in his seat. What's the matter, Dave? Nothing. Who is it? I said, nah, I said, you know, I can't really do that. Kid'll be upset. No, who is it? I said, it's Dave, he's right here. Oh, we really didn't cheat. I said, now who's Sue? So then he told me who the other one was, so I said, so, you never know. You never know.
Susie Q.
Susie Q. Susie Q's mentally ill. Susie Q holds Tupperware parties, takes the money, but never delivers the goods. Susie Q forms bowling leagues, takes all the registration fees, but there's never any league. Susie Q sells flowers, but there are never any flowers, so I kind of get the drift of this woman. When I took over the business, Susie Q owed the store about $5,000. Susie Q was at what is known as a house account, where it's not financed through a bank, it's financed through the store itself. So, in other words, Susie owed me $5,000. Susie was not paying on it. So I said, I somehow have to get through to this woman. So I still remember the phone number, 733-1351. It's memorized in my head. So I said, I better call this woman up. So I dial the phone number. Hello? I said, hi, is this Sue? Yes, it is. Sue. I said, Chubb's Furniture. I said, you have an outstanding balance of $5,000 plus late fees. Oh, I know, honey. I know it. My daughter just got in a car accident.
Right.
So being naive, I had just taken over the business. Oh, gee, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, oh, she's bad. They don't expect her to live. That's too bad. A couple days later, I figured, okay, fine. Well, when you get things straightened out, come in. Oh, I sure will, honey. I'll be in to take care of you. Okay, Sue, thank you. A couple days later, talking to a friend of mine. I said, you know this family? Oh, yeah. I understand the daughter just got in a serious car accident. Serious car accident? Somebody bumped her in the mall parking lot. I said, oh, really? She wasn't hospitalized? No, they just put a little dent in the car. I said, oh. So I called Sue back. Hi, Sue. I said, didn't tell her that I was on to her game, that she was lying to me. Sue, when are you coming in? Oh, my husband was just arrested. She get the drift. This woman kept doing this. Then I called her up again, and a little girl voice would answer. Hello? Hi, is Sue there? No, she's there. It was her. She was disguising her voice, every time. I said, boy, that doesn't sound like a little... Who's this? This is her niece. Oh, okay. Well, just tell her that Chuck's furniture called and return the call. Okay, thank you. She'd hang up. We would never hear from Sue. So I call her up again. Hi, Sue. No, this is her sister, Maybelle. Oh. Well, is Sue there? No. She's out in California for a month and a half. Oh. Okay. Good enough. Thank you. I quickly caught on. Well, not quickly. I can't say it was actually slowly. Finally caught on to this woman. So then she changed her phone number. Then I got the phone number. Then she wouldn't answer the phone. So finally Thanksgiving rolls around. I said, now I know this woman knows the store is closed. She won't answer the phone, or she will answer the phone today because she knows it's probably not me. So I dial the phone, I excuse myself from my Thanksgiving dinner. Excuse me, I gotta make a phone call. Dial the phone. Hello, happy Thanksgiving, Sue. How are you? Oh, great, terrific. Who's this? Oh, you having a turkey, Sue, or what do you have? Yeah, we got a turkey. How many pounds, Sue? Oh, we got a 24-pounder. Oh, you got a lot of people coming over? Yeah, we got a lot of people. Good. Listen, Sue, this is Chuck's Furniture. You owe $5,000 in change. You've been lying to me. You have not been in. If you're not in tomorrow, I'm going over and filing a claim. Oh, honey, I'll be in. Oh, sure enough, Sue came in the next day with $100. I'll be in next week too, honey, don't worry. Well, she never came the next week. The next week, the next week, the next week. Wouldn't answer her phone, couldn't get a hold of her. Well, of course, Christmas rolls around. Open up all my presents, excuse me. Hello? Merry Christmas, Sue! Oh, Merry Christmas to you, too! How's everything, Sue? Great, great. Did you get a lot of gifts, Sue? Yes, did you get any money? Any money? Yeah, my daughter gave me $100. Good, Sue. This is Chuck's Furniture. You better come down with that $100 bill. Oh, my... Sue came in the next day with a $100 bill. Well, since then, Sue has kind of disappeared. I don't know where she is. She's lost someplace. I think she's... still owes about $4,000. I don't know. I lost it. There's no way I can get it. Susie Q, she was a slip. Did I ever tell you about the golf ball in the library? Oh no, they didn't tell you any library stories, did I? No. Any library stories? Well, my mind is kind of devious. And I've already been thinking of something to do for tomorrow. At the Bureau of Engraving, I bought those $2 bills I showed a lot of you. They're all together and everything. They're not cut. It's just one sheet. So tomorrow I'm going down to the library, and I'm going to ask Miss Brower for a copy of whatever, something. I'll grab a magazine. Can I have a copy, please? Oh, sure. They got a dime? I certainly do. After she makes a copy, I'm going to give her that whole sheet of $2 bills and say, here, cut one away. Well, what do you think this is? Oh, yeah, I don't have a dime. Here's a sheet of $2 bills. Take what you want. Take one of them. They got a paper cutter on the back. I wonder if she'll appreciate it. I'll have to wait and see. Mr. Woolner told me to do that. Well, anybody in here in my class when I used to roll the golf balls down in there? Were you in there, Ray?
Yeah, comic, first period.
Every year I have a golf ball. I always end up with one somehow, some way. There's a golf ball in my room. For some reason, my demented mind, I always write on it, I love books. Go out in the hallway. I always pick my, good class that's going to, pay attention to this and say, all right, you can't get out of hand. I go out in the hallway, watch this. So I whip the golf ball down, goes down in the library, bing, 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 bing. Then I stand on the hall like I'm on duty or something, looking around. I watch Miss Brower kind of saunter across, pick up the ball. What's this, Barbara? I love books. My wife to find out the Joker was doing this. Still hasn't figured it out.
Brower's Corner.
Ellie's place.
Another time I sent a kid down, run down to the library and get me a copy. I need an extra copy of this thing for my class. Okay, kid runs down, comes back and says, I said, where's the copy? Well, she said, where's the dime? I said, did you tell her it was for me? Yeah, she said, the teachers still have to pay. I said, I can't believe that. So I reached in my pocket, and in the bills that I had was a crisp $100 bill. I'll fix her. Here you go, and make sure you bring back the change. Okay. She says, do you have the dime? I say, yeah, I got it. The kid goes down, comes back with a copy. I said, good. He says, no. He gave me 99 singles and 9 dimes. She had change. So later on that day, she walks by and gave me one of her looks. Thought you were smart, huh? 10 cents, please. Money, money, money. The other time, I have a putter, and it's got a penny, a nickel, and a dime in it. It's embedded in plastic. Needed a copy again, and sent a kid down. I said, here, take this. It comes off. The top of the putter comes off. I said, here, take this down. When she asked for the dime, plop this in her hand and say, Mr. Saxon said, crack it open. Kid goes down. Kid comes back. Where's the copy? She said, crack it over your head. Crack it, tell Mr. Sassy to crack it over his head. I'm sure it'll break. Good for the bastard. I've got a couple Missionese stories.
Yeah! Snug.
I heard there was a gas leak.
Uh-oh.
We got somebody sneaking up. Did they hear about that? Did they hear about that gas leak?
No, tell it.
Well,
Snug.
We're gonna put sneaking up.
Don't be the snake.
you know what this is? The alias Sneeze Fart. One day while teaching class, now you have to be familiarized, you should familiarize yourself with several of these government institutions. Some of you aren't listening. Excuse me, but I really don't see the humor in that. Mike's brother, Brian, comes running down. Mr. Sash, you're not going to believe this. Guess what happened? He tells me the story. I said, oh, thank you. I'll have fun with that. So I walk by, poke my head in. She always leaves the door open. Is there something wrong? No, I said, someone said there's a report of a gas leak downstairs. Excuse me! Excuse me! I really don't appreciate your humor. Meanwhile, the whole class is on the floor, you know. My favorite story with her is the telephone. Did I say the telephone story? Yeah. This is a good story. Want me to tell it or no?
Yeah!
Sitting home one night, 9:30 at night, cold winter night. I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm watching TV, whatever. School the next day. The phone rings. I'm saying, oh no. I was expecting a phone call for a business thing. Then it rang once. I thought, I said, this is either that guy from the company or it's you know who. What do I do? If I don't answer the call, I could lose out in the business deal. But if I do answer it, and it's you know who, then I have to listen to you know who. So the old devious mind kicks in. I said, I know what I'll do. Phone rings, go over. Hello? Oh, it's me. Well, guess who? Nightmare on Elm Street. Hello? Hi, it's me. Hello? Hello? It's me! Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Frank calls. I hang up the phone. Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ring-a-ling-a-ling. I call back now. Hello? Hi, it's me. Can't you hear me? Hello? It's me! Can't you hear? Hello? 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 Is anybody there? Hello? Frank calls. Hang up again. Well, third time. Ring-a-ling-a-ling, So here we go again. Hello? Top of her lungs. I don't want to scream at a deafening back there. I can hear you, but you can't. Hello? 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 I can't believe these prank calls. Well, the phone call stopped. I'm laughing at myself. Anybody saw me, I think I was insane. Sitting there laughing. Boy, what a sucker. She fell for that when I was trying to sing her. And I'm laughing. So all of a sudden, ding dong! What's the doorbell? Jeez, it's 10:45 at night. It's about 5 below zero out. What could that be? Can't be the paper boy. Answer the door. Do you know that your phone does not work? What's that, you? I said. I kept picking it up, and there's no one on the other end. It was me. It was the strangest thing. I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. Oh. You got me.
What about the shower?
The shower?
Yes.
Oh, rumors will start then.
Let him. Too late.
Last summer, sound asleep, summer morning, 6:30, 6:45, I don't even know what time it was. The phone rings. You know, I stood up kind of dazed and confused. What the heck's going on? Who's calling this early? Pick up the phone. Hello, hi, it's me. Oh, my day's been ruined now. Yes, I said, I have an emergency. I said, oh, what's the matter? He doesn't live too far. He lives around the corner from me. What's the matter? My tub is overflowing. I said, well, call the plumber. I'm not a plumber. You don't understand. Oh, I said, well, what do you want me to do? I have to be someplace at 7:30. I have to use your shower. I'll be right over. Click. Ding dong. Lock, stock, and barrel, big Macy's bag with towels and combs and hair dryers and perfume. I said, you go right ahead. I said, I'm going down in the basement where I have my TV room. I said, you go up to the shower, and when you're done, just close the door. You don't know how much I appreciate this. And now you go right ahead. You know, the neighbors are thinking, what the heck is going on over here? Isn't she older than him?
How much older?
A lot. Then there's another story. That's a good one.
What the heck, guys?
Last year, driving back from playing golf, I noticed her car at the Cafe Miltonburg. Does anyone know where the Cafe Miltonburg is? It's a little dessert place. Mr. Wallner frequents it quite frequently. At least every time I've been there, I've seen him. Anyway, Cafe Miltonburg, just a dessert place, a nice place. The lady that owns it is German. She's authentic. I mean, she speaks German and she's got the accent and the whole bit. Well, I'm driving by and whose car do I see at the Cafe Miltonburg but Mishne's. By the time I get home, the old devious mind kicked in. I said, boy, I got to do something with this. She has an answering machine on her phone. So I decided to dial her number. Picked it up. Hi, there's no one here right now. You know, whole bit there. So I disguised my voice and said, hello, Mishne. This is Erica from the Cafe Miltonburg. You have won a prize. I would like you to call me at 343-4547. Thank you. And I looked at the phone, but it was a real phone number. I looked it up in the book. She comes home, plays back her tapes. Oh, I won a prize! Gets on the phone to this Cafe Miltonburg. I'd like to speak to Erica, please. Erica comes on the phone. Hello? Hi. I was just there, and I just got a message on the machine that I won a prize. What did I win? Well, there must be some kind of mistake. We don't give away prizes here. Well, what do you mean? You left a message very blatantly on my machine that I won a prize. Now, what is it? I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as a prize. We don't give away a prize here. I'll never come here again. He hangs up the phone. Well, I get the phone call now. You're never going to believe what happened. Tell me. Oh, I went to the Cafe Miltonburg. Now, this part I didn't know, so it worked out really well. And I had a meeting with 16 people, and I booked it, and I told the woman it had to be ready by 5 o'clock. And she had the nerve, when we got there, she hadn't even set up for us, and we had to wait outside. So I got in a little argument with her. Well, then I thought she was being nice, and she was trying to smooth the relations with me. She called up and said I won a prize. And I called her back, she denied the whole thing. She is a sick woman. You're right. She is a sick woman. I said, I wouldn't go there again if I were you. I'm not. I refuse. She is a sick woman.
Yo, Costco and the air conditioning. Yeah.
Costco and the air conditioning? Superintendent.
Shut up, Bob.
Well, you know who Tinker is, right?
Yeah.
All I have to do is go in the teacher's room and kind of give Tinker a wink and say, you know, play along with me, all right? He'll do it every time. So poor Mr. Costco comes in, sits down at lunch, pulls out his sandwich, pulls out his drink, sets up his napkin and ready to have a little picnic there. So I chime in, so Tinker, that'll be nice. You're saying that by next year then I'll have air conditioning throughout my room. Yep, that's right. He says, you lucked out. It's really going to be nice, and you'll have that air conditioning. I said, yeah, that's good. Because I really have a hot room thing. Yeah, I know you do. Wait a minute, wait. Now, Mr. Costco puts his sandwich down. Wait a minute, wait. Oh, we're getting air conditioning? No, you're not. Well, wait a minute. You just said that, he's talking about air conditioning in his room. Well, it just so happens that there's enough pipe to go into Sassy's room and across to Cornwell's room, but that's as far as we can go. Anybody beyond that, sorry, we just can't do it. I said, yeah, that's too bad. I look at Mr. Costco, that's too bad. Well, it's not too bad. I've been here for 22 years. How many years have you been here? 5? I said, yeah. Well, there's something known as seniority here. I said, seniority? I said, that's garbage. I said, my room is where it is, and yours is where yours is. I said, you've been there for 22 years. Aren't you attached to it? Well, it has nothing to do with attachment. If you're having air conditioning and I'm not, then there's going to be a problem. Because by rights, we should switch rooms. He said, oh no. I said, I'm not switching rooms. That's my room. Your room is your room, my room. And Tinker, of course, says, yeah, he's right. He's right. That's his room. Well, I'm sorry about that, but I'm not going to put up with that. Well, why not? I said, it's too bad. That's the breaks. I said, now, if you had taken 117 earlier, then you would have had it. But now you don't. Well, that's it. I'm going down to Mr. DeBello. Puts the sandwich down now. He's irate. Face is red. Bolts out of the teacher's room. Marches to the office. Mr. DeBello, may I see you a minute behind closed doors? Sure. Come on in. He closes the door. Now, I am very disturbed at this point. What's the matter? Well, I am under the impression that some teachers will have air conditioning and some will not. Mr. DeBello looks at Mr. Costco and says, that's new to me. Well, Tinker was just down in there talking to Sassy, and he had this whole plan, and Tinker even had these things. Tinker was drawing on the napkins. Well, what we're going to do is run this in here and across there, and Tom, you want the ceiling blower, or do you want a lower blower? And so give me the ceiling. That'll blow it in on top. And Mr. Costco's listening to all of this. Well, they had all these master plans down there. I don't know what you're talking about. No one's getting air conditioning. The library and maybe the computer room, but that's it. Well, how come Tinker's down there and they got these plans? Well, John, I think they're giving you a hard time. But now it even matter. So I took off. Tinker takes off. Costco comes back. Where are they? Now I'm down in my room hiding. I really don't appreciate. What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I said, well, the poor guy, really. Then we got to go on carpet one day, too.
So amazing. Come on, there's gotta be more. What about Buster?
Hello, Mr. Costco. How are you? Well, I'm just fine, Mr. Coonan. How are you? Well, just fine. Now listen, I see that they've given you an advanced class. Yes, they have. Do you think you're qualified to handle that? Well, I've been teaching for 19 years. That was 19 at the time, after 20. And I feel that I'm more than qualified. Well, I just kind of have a problem with that, and, well, there shouldn't be any problem. Well, what is your background now? What college did you go to? Well, and he starts to go through this whole thing. Now, what were your grades? Well, I really can't quote my grades because I don't have them. Well, I really would like to know. But as long as you say that you're qualified enough, then fine. Well, I'm more than qualified. Yes, I think I can handle it. I'll do a very good job. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Costco. I feel confident now, and you enjoy the rest of your summer. Well, thank you. You too, and welcome to Valley Central. Well, thank you, Mr. Costco. Boom, and I hang up the phone. course, he gets back to school. You're not going to believe it. Superintendent called me up. Called you up? Really? Yes, he had the nerve to ask if I was qualified. Did he ask you about your college background? Yeah, he did. How about your grades? Yeah, he asked that too. A couple minutes go by. I'm trying to figure it out. Wait a minute. I walked out by then.
Shaper in the sleep. Shaper. Tell us about when Shaper conked out.
Grade period class.
Library? Yeah, no.
Teacher's room. Teacher's room.
The teacher's room. Oh, that was...
He just fell asleep and then he overslept and went in there. But he was down in the library and sprawled out on one of the couches. Naughty, naughty, naughty! There is no sitting on the couches. And if you take a magazine, you can't sit there. If you take a book, you can't sit there. Take the magazine, you gotta sit over here. You take a book, you gotta sit over here. Get that straight? And there's a scandal in the library right now. I don't know if you're aware of it or not. There's no book drop. And the kids have been tearing pages out of the magazines. I'm going to start charging a dime for every page torn out. That'll fix it. A book in a magazine, well, if you have a book in a magazine, you have to sit on the floor. You can't sit at the tables. And there's no gum chewing. I love to go in there with bazooka. You ever hear the tie story when I did the tie? That was a great one. I had a musical tie.
Right.
Still do.
A couple of years ago, I went in the library at Christmas time with this musical tie, pressed the button and it played Jingle Bells. So if you remember the setup of the old library, out comes Miss Brown with her hands on the hips. Where's that music coming from? Irma, do you hear music? Oh, I hear music. Yes, I do. Well, I wonder where it's coming from. Somebody in here's got one of those music boxes. So then it automatically stops. So I'm looking around like, where's that coming from? Looking around, the kids are all looking around. So Miss Brower goes back in the little cubicle there. I press it again. Comes out again. Mrs. Davy too. Scouring the lot. So am I, like, what is going on here? Who's got that? I don't know. Then it stops. What's going on here? So I go in the back there and kind of casually hide. Press it a third time. Alright, who's ever got the music box, better fork it over where no one's leaving the library. So I get up and walk out. The kids know now. He's got it, he's got it. You're versus the kids. I appreciate the humor, I don't know why.
Tell about Buster, your dog. Buster! Buster! Buster!
Buster, my dog?
Yeah.
What has he done lately?
I don't know. What's the story you told his friends? Yeah, the one he told his friends.
Well,
He's still rolling?
surprised his dog isn't barbecued yet. Sound asleep one night.
Oh, yeah. You were sleeping.
Rolled over my bed. This awful smell. Woke me right up out of a dead sleep.
Give me to take a shower.
God. Face, I look. Dog crap. What the heck is going on here? Now I jump out of bed. In the summertime, all the windows in my house are open. I live in an old neighborhood, so the houses are pretty close together. I'm in my underwear. Crap on my face. Jump out of bed. Down to the floor. Meanwhile, the dog's nowhere around me. Oh, boy, that dog is dead. That dog is dead. I'm saying that dog is dead. Now I'm going through my house hobbling because I got, you know what, on my foot. And I got it on my hand and on my face. So I'm going through, all through the hallway, down the stairs, and I'm, talking pretty loud. I'm swearing, cursing. Windows are all open, like 3 or 4 o'clock. Ding dong. Middletown police. Everything okay? Yeah. said, everything's fine. I said, you know, except the dog. Oh. Yeah, I said, I'm going downstairs. I said, I'm not going to look at this tonight. So down I went. That dog. I don't know where he went, but he went all over the place.
Cool.
There's a bat story. The bat.
The bat? Yeah, the bat in the house, too. That was another one. Woke up one night and a bat flying through my room. Yeah, it's very scary. If you ever had a bat in your house, you know. I've become an expert on bats now. Killing them anyway. I wake up and here's this thing fluttering back and forth. And I said, oh man. Jump up out of bed again. It's summertime. Nothing on but my underwear. And I'm running down. I topple down the stairs of my house. Tumble down, I'm screaming and yelling. Again, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Screaming and yelling, I run in, trying to find a broom, chasing this bat through my house with a broom. I'm turning all the lights on. The neighbors now are wondering, what in the world is going on now? First they saw me going in to take a shower, and then they see me screaming and yelling at the dog, and now I'm chasing through my underwear with a broom. Boy, this guy's crazy. Broke a window, broke a lamp, knocked down some curtains.
Tennis racket, man.
Well, no, that was the next day. So I chased the bat around for about an hour, finally got in one of the bedrooms, closed the door, and I said, there. I said, I'm going to bed. I'm not walking around with this thing anymore. Went to bed, got up the next day, went to work, came home. Neighbors are all out in the street. Rob, is everything okay? I said, yeah, it's fine. I said, you know, well, geez, you know, you running around last night. We could see you in there. I said, yeah, no. I said, well, there was a bat in the house. Oh, is that what it was? I said, yeah. Did you get it? I said, no. I said, it's up in the bedroom, that front bedroom there. And I point to from the street to my one bedroom. Oh, you know, what'd you do, lock it in there? I said, yeah. Oh, that doesn't hold them. They sneak underneath the door. I said, no, it can't be. Yeah, seriously. Walk in, open up the front door, right at me. I said, oh, man, I can't believe this. Got a tennis racket, so I was irate now. Chased through, I felt like a warrior or something. I came across it, boosh, got it. All over there. Blood all over. Blood all over. Got it. Got it. Neighbors are out in the street. You got it? And I said, yeah, I got it. Blood dripping on my face. I got it. I said, I got it. Had to have the carpet shampooed and the kitchen painted and all that, but I got it. Ever hear the Isuzu story? In economics? I really don't think you should buy foreign cars.
Alright, yeah.
Really shouldn't buy foreign cars. But anyway, one car that I really dislike is an Isuzu Trooper. Hate those things. They look like a box on wheels.
Hey, Andy, how do those flip?
Has Andy got one of those? Did it flip?
And he rolled it.
Company car. Let's abuse it. Anyway, there every morning on my way to school, there would be this woman that would cut me off in this Isuzu Trooper. I said, I think that's why I developed this dislike for him. So one day I said, I'm going to fix this lady. I said, I'm going to fix her so bad. I said, I'm going to cut her off, make her jam on the brakes, and that stupid Isuzu, I'll fix her. I cut her off, she's blowing the horn, she catch up to me, you know, a little bit later on, like in front of the mall, and kind of gave me some gestures with her finger, and, you know, I kind of gave her one of these, you know, get out of here, lady. So later that day, I'm back from school, I go to my store, sitting there in a chair, I look out in the parking lot, in pulls this Isuzu Trooper. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I hate those things. That looks like the one I passed this morning. Out pops the lady. Oh. Comes walking in. She knew the woman that worked for me. Hi, Teresa, how are you? Good, you know, this and that. She looks at me and looks at me again. Does he work here? No, no, he owns it. Well, I wouldn't shop here. Down she goes. Appreciate my humor either, I guess.
Gotta get rid of that blade.
Brent. Called up his house. Mother answers. Hello, Mrs. Smith? Yes? This is Sergeant Jones, Middletown Police Department. I used names that sounded pretty good though. Yes, yes. We have your son John in custody with his girlfriend. They were drinking and driving. There was also marijuana found in the car. Oh my God! Oh my God! Now, Mrs. Smith, I don't want you to get excited. This happens quite a bit. Your son's a nice young man. We're going to let him go. But I believe that you should discipline him at home. Oh, we certainly will. We certainly will. Thank you, officer. You don't know how much we appreciate this. kid walks in the door and the father kicks the crap out of him. Unbeknownst to me. Get to school on Monday. Kid's kind of hobbling around. The father really, beat him, I guess. Well, that was just a joke. Sassy did it. What? I was flying down. I went flying into the lockers. Didn't feel too good that day.
You got your band.
That's when I was a student, yeah. We used to do crazy things. Go to the store and buy about 50 Penthouse magazines. Friend would have a party and we'd put them throughout the house. Beer cans or something, whatever it was, we'd put them all over.
Scott, turn that off, please.
Go to their houses, jack their cars up, put blocks of wood underneath there.
What else, Ray? I'm thinking.
Don't they?
Back to that old baby on board. And better slow up, there's a baby on board. Jeez, I mean, really. Cocker Spaniel on board. What are you, a dork or what? Cocker Spaniel, cat and trunk.
Yes, sir.
I wish I had a wiffle ball bat or something. I'll reach across. What, you got a cat in the trunk? Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fremont trunk. I like to see people, usually women too, that smoke. With that almighty cigarette, turning the wheel of that car. They don't want to drop those ashes. They don't want to lose that puff, Hey, lady! Squirt gun, Basically, there are two types of people in the world. Well, actually, in the United States.
I'm sorry.
I have to use the example. Those who go for the yellow light and those who don't. That really tells a lot about people. If you go for the yellow light, well, that shows that you're aggressive and ambitious. If you stop, there's something wrong with you. Don't you hate that? It's always when you're in a rush. You get behind someone, they're always in the left lane, that's the passing lane. Yellow light, they jam the brakes on, 10 seconds later, the thing's still yellow. They know that, right? They know. They automatically know. Americans, who walk down, Americans. You can hear them mumble, Americans. Sneakers, shoes, they know off the bat. It's really interesting. Big mouths. Ray was singing America, America. Everybody was walking down. Weren't you there? We were singing America, America.
Everybody was looking at us like we were stupid.
They didn't appreciate that.
No, the best was singing with that old guy with the organ grinder. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember any of my other good ones. Like you.
Walnut imitation.
Do all the imitations?
No.
Bill Schaefer.
Walner.
Did you do Mr. Walsh?
Frankie
No,
J.
Walner.
Yeah. Frankie J.
All right, hey gang. Oh, okay. All right, stand up. Okay, I know you're all anxious to get home, but we're gonna make one more stop. All right, there's a great little chocolate place up here. No, I can't do Mrs. Ridley. I can't. I really, I have to work on. It has to be a certain, element that comes out.
How about Mrs. Ryder?
No, I can't do Mrs. Ryder.
Tucci.
Can't do Mr. Tucci.
Bob.
Taylor.
Taylor, no, I can't do that.
Schwartz. Schwartzy.
Who? Mrs. Schwartz, I can't do her.
Schaefer.
How about Mrs. Zaransky? Has anyone ever had Mrs. Zaransky? All right, listen, you got things to do. And you have to get them done. There's no way around it. You gotta get it done. Okay? No, you probably have to take her. Stocky Balboa?
Yeah.
Stocky Balboa! I haven't seen her in quite a while. I don't know where she's been. I may be small, but I'm strong. That's where she gets the name. Oh, Stocky Balboa instead of Rocky Balboa. See, I may be small, but I got muscles. Stocky Balboa.
Giglio Stockhausen. This is Tom.
Is it Gilio?
Giglio.
Okay, we're gonna hand out several pieces of paper. -5 if the heading is incorrect.
Yeah.
Cornwall.
No, I can't do it.
Mr. Saganic. You're only across the hall. Saganic, all you have to do is go.
Mr. Matakevich.
Go ahead.
Probably didn't have it. Anybody have it?
Yeah.
Well, the other day, coming around, all of a sudden, bam! Lady rammed into my car. Bam! 10 grand in damage. Lady come around, bam! Last over at where I was. 5 grand, 10 grand in damage, I don't even know. What did he say?
Penn State.
Penn State. I went down to Penn State. Game down there. I got down there. Quarterback was down there. Hurt. Went back around. Oh. What did he say? Told me that an accident. I asked 3 people.
What?
Swanee. Do Swanwick.
What?
Mr. Swanwick?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I really, I've been enjoying coming back to your substitute teaching. You know, really, some of these kids here, I really think really one kid going down the hall, he says, oh, I'm gonna go in here, and I go up there and say, what are you doing? True story with Mr. Swanwick. Before he retired, of course, his room was next to mine. He comes over, and he tells me this little story. You know, there was a year he was retiring, in fact. You know, I'm really glad I'm getting out of here. I mean, you know, these kids are really off the wall. These kids are off the wall. Well, what happened? Well, I was reviewing for a test, and you know, you'd think these kids would be a little the least bit interested. And so I said to the kids, I said, well, I know some of you out there must have a question. And I looked out, 30 people sitting there like I was dumb. Like I wasn't even there. I said, now look, well, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to say another thing until someone in here asks a question. So finally, a hand goes up in the back. I said, well, it's about time. You all ought to be like Johnny back there. Raise your hand. All right, now, I know that other of you have questions too. Now raise your hand and ask the question. All right, now what's your question, Johnny? True story. Can I go take a dump? I mean, really, this kid, you know, at that point, I said, go ahead, get out of here.
Beto.
Can't do Beto.
Seagull.
I can do the seagull walk.
Do it.
I can do the DeMello walk. I can do the Schnee walk. How about the Schnee laugh? Did I do that one?
Byway or the highway.
The Newman laugh. I already did that one though.
Yeah. Imperati.
Can't do them. No, can't do them.
Do some more Newman.
Okay. I happen to know.
And then.
Currently, I have pending a $15 million deal. Alright? Steven Spielberg. Okay? In fact, he called me the other night I wasn't home. Okay? Since he's kind of reclusive in many ways, alright, he does not leave a return phone call. Okay? So I had to mail things out specially. Alright? It cost me about $300 to have special things mailed out. Okay? So they were mailed to him. I expect a phone call very shortly. Alright? $15 million. Okay? I happen to know, alright?
More walls.
Banquets.
Living quite comfortably out in California last I knew. And, Nancy and I, if you recall, embarked upon the campaign of this nation, this great nation of ours, to wipe clean the slate full of drugs that have plagued our nation. Well, become victims of none less than thugs. Why, that madman, that Ayatollah Khomeini, thank God he's dead. I don't wish anybody dead, but what do you think of a nation that man dies? Why, the barbaric people try to rip the clothes right off his body for souvenirs. Why, I think that's sad. I think that's sick. Why, just the other day, Nancy said that too. She got a piece of the cloth. I don't know how. But we're in good hands with George. Yes, we're in good hands with George, and the Democrats just come forward and pray to God that nothing happens to George. Here's the Dan will take over. I think Dan's a fine young man. He's kind of slow, but well. I think he got them all. He got that. Mr. Davey, though, a little bit upset with these trips, and then they're going to Florida, and some of them will have to make arrangements to take the exam down there.
You have to make up words.
Well, make up words.
Study.
Make sure there's a cover on that book. Books are $55.40. If you'd like to pay $55.40, then you can have one.
You, Mr. Ross.
Calvin Ross? Hello, boys and girls. Yes, I know what you're thinking. I look like Oracle Rittenbacher. But I'm really not. Don't forget those Richmond trips. We want suits, ties, ladies, we want skirts. I want to advise you, though, that the 2 cents per day overdue fee is going up to 3 cents per day. The 10 cents per copy is going up to 15 cents per copy. So you better be prepared. That'll teach those kids. Jack it up a penny.
Do Amy. Do Amy. Amy. Amy.
Jim McCullough?
Wow.
Oh?
Yeah.
No, I can't do it now. I gotta be around. You gotta really develop mannerisms. I can do the walk, but the aisle is too short. I can't walk down.
Hey, wait, Nadine. Yeah, Nadine.
Wait, Nadine? Well? Yeah, the tour guide in France. Okay. Well, let's just say body on the bus. I'm sorry, this is not a bus, it's a coach. Is that right, Amy? Coach. Okay, on your left is a building. Brick. That was it, truthfully. Okay, coming up, we are coming up to our hotel. To the hotel. Watch out for pickpocketers. Lovely neighborhood.
On the right is a castle.
Okay, on the right is a castle.
I don't know the name.
I don't know the name or what they used it for, but it's a castle. And I think there are some little shops. You might want to go in and see them. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a slab of your shops, right?
Is that what she was doing?
Did she drink or what?
Yes, she could.
She was putting them away.
Oh, hey, Nadine.